Baba Booey.
Welcome to an all-new Lay It Omni. Allow me to lay it on you. What's up, guys? Hope you're having a beautiful day. You know how it goes, another day, another cancel. And today's cancel is brought to you in part by Nintendo. Guys, by this point, if you've been watching my channel consistently over the past few weeks, which you should be doing, then you already know Nintendo is on crack. The evil forces behind Nintendo's upper management has been launching a full-scale crackdown on any person who even thinks about enjoying their game without their permission. Today, we're talking about how Nintendo has dug its foot even further by shutting down a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate competitive event. So here's the tweet that started it all. So this is kind of interesting. Nintendo not allowing Playversus to run competition because they claim to be working on collegiate esports themselves. Seems unlikely considering their complete lack of involvement in the amateur/pro level. And within the tweet there is a Discord message that says, "Hello collegiate coach, collegiate players. Unfortunately, we will not be able to offer Nintendo Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for college this spring 2021 season at the request of the publisher, which is Nintendo, who wants to wait to restart their college initiatives at a later date. We apologize to those who signed up and have some more exciting announcements coming in January that should more than make up for not having Smash this spring." Now, initially, when you read this, it doesn't sound too bad at all, especially if you're not aware of Nintendo's antics. When the guys at Playversus basically said that Nintendo wants to wait to restart their college initiatives at a later date, it kind of sounds like they're working on something in the background. However, guys, Nintendo probably has no intention of starting any kind of college initiative at any kind of later date whatsoever. Later date in this case basically means never. Anyway, the esports pref went on to tweet, "If true, it could mean the only legitimate competition for Smash is on the collegiate side. Maybe pros need to start thinking about varsity as a viable pathway. Potentially collegiate is the only part of their plan." Lots of questions from me coming out of this one announcement. So that was the tweet in question, and of course the community had a lot to say about it. After all, if you weren't aware, hashtag Free Ultimate was trending all last night and this morning on Twitter. The Crimson Blur tweeted, "In today's edition of Nintendo shutting down opportunities for Smash Bros. At Playversus, a startup which has raised $106 million to grow collegiate high school esports, says they cannot run Smash at the explicit request of the publisher. Awesome smiley face. Hashtag free Melee with an extra E." You kind of messed that up, Blur. Hashtag save Smash. Fizzy tweeted, "It's just becoming increasingly clear that Nintendo is just purely anti-competition. Imagine how excited any other developer would be about an org promoting their game and brand to college students. Very likely to increase sales for DLC or next iteration. Hashtag free Melee, hashtag free Ultimate." He goes on to say, "Nintendo hasn't even proven they can run even a single event properly. Imagine them thinking they can manage a drawn-out collegiate program. What a joke." Meanwhile, compare this behavior to Psionic with Rocket League. Playversus is supporting a high school scene and there continues to be a strong collegiate scene. Refer back to this tweet in like 3 to 4 years and see how that type of support and effort has paid off for them. And finally, even if Nintendo did want to start their own collegiate league, what exactly is the point in shutting down an existing league? If your official league ends up being better, people will just switch to it, while in the meantime, college students still get to enjoy your game. Essentially, guys, this is the same song and dance Nintendo has been doing for years and years behind closed doors. People are now just being more vocal about it, and it doesn't just stop with Melee or Splatoon, it even hits the Ultimate community. We've talked on this channel about how Nintendo has been poisoning the well, and this is just things that we know of that's verbally being said, but who knows how many more initiatives were shut down that haven't been communicated. In this case too, it also has nothing to do with protecting their IPs. I think that was one of the arguments that was being used with the hashtag free Melee movement at one point when it involved Slippy and the mod that lets you play Melee online. People were kind of supporting Nintendo without actually knowing the facts and basically suggesting that a mod means you can't do it because it's piracy, but now they're just shutting down things regardless of mods or piracy or not. Now, here's my take, and I think you'll be surprised. If Nintendo doesn't want to bring esports to their community or become too competitive and only wants to appeal to the casual audience, then just say it. Like, bro, just be like,
"Yo, we don't like competition. Can y'all stop hosting events?"
You know, put people out of their misery and end this fiasco once and for all and go back to selling your games, printing money, and shutting down events. And I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I would respect that. If that's what Nintendo wants, then it is what it is. It's their games, it's their products, okay? The problem is that Nintendo fence sits and gives the impression that they want to help and support the community, but then destroys that illusion in the next breath. It's as if like Nintendo has like a split personality. It's like at war with itself because the actions only show this like yo-yo-like index. I can't quite understand the concept of why Nintendo doesn't want to take a stance outside of the fact that they like to continue and use the community to be their biggest and largest free marketing canvas and paying for the game. It feels like Nintendo is saying,
I want you guys to play our game. Stream it, make content, make it hype, sell it to your audience. But don't make it too hype or too competitive or we'll step in and shut it down.
And guys, that's why a lot of people were upset, because it feels like a very strong manipulation tactic that they have been using for the past decade. Also, there's this concept of how does the Smash fan base, or even the Nintendo fan base, how do we fight back against a multi-billion-dollar company? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Nintendo might be keeping the competitive scene down. Think about it this way. Nintendo's money comes from their casual audience, okay? Kids and teenagers, most likely, who don't even care what a Smash tournament is or don't know what a Slippy is. That's their target and core audience and where they make the most bang for their buck. Families feel the need to buy their kids a video game system because kids like video games and they just go to Nintendo. So if Nintendo's goal is to keep targeting the casual audience, it makes sense that they wouldn't want to make their products too competitive. Except for the fact that Nintendo has their own account on Twitter called Nintendo Versus that caters to a competitive scene within Nintendo. Which then leads to the idea that perhaps Nintendo doesn't mind competition as long as they're the ones controlling it. For whatever reason, maybe it has to be at their own pace, at their own schedule, at their own time, or maybe they need to be paid a certain amount of money, who knows. Either way, if I'm Nintendo, I'm thinking that these esports kids are getting out of control and their futile attempts to make me budge is laughable. Because if I'm Nintendo, I don't need esports, okay? I don't need the competitive Smash community. And if the Smash community esports blows up too much, then as Nintendo, it's not like I'm stepping on an ant and no one would care, you know? I'm stepping on a puppy or I don't know. But I'm trying to snuff out something that is much larger, and by doing so wouldn't be that good for PR or investors, but whatever, you see what I'm saying? So the best thing to do is to keep putting out these little fires all over the place so it doesn't become one big ginormous fire that starts getting out of control. And this little fire just happens to be the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Play versus Collegiate program. The thing is that with too much fire, Nintendo could potentially get burned. And that's how Nintendo keeps control and power. It's also why the Nintendo fanbase doesn't stand a chance at fighting them. The truth of the matter is that the Smash community has no power or influence over Nintendo, at least not like they used to have before. The only thing they can do is publicly keep hacking away and trying to tarnish their image from a PR level. Maybe throw some charity tournaments where all the proceeds go to charity to make Nintendo look bad if they shut it down. But guys, nothing is actually going to impact Nintendo sales. The same people who hate Nintendo are the same people playing Sephiroth and showing off how cool he is, okay? And if it isn't Smash, bro, when Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, we're all gonna get it. Because people hate Nintendo's management but love their games. That's like my favorite ramen shop, okay? Around my area, there's this ramen shop that I love to go to. It's so good, okay? Now, if I went there and all they did was curse at me and call me names and were mean to me, but the ramen was the best tasting ramen in my life, like better than any ramen that I've ever had before and better than most foods, I'm gonna keep going and I'm gonna keep eating the ramen because I like the ramen despite the management. And I think that's how most humans work, you know, regardless of how they're treated. If the end all be all is a good product that leaves a person satisfied, you win. So that's how I feel. Like, truthfully and realistically, I don't think we can win a war with Nintendo because there isn't even a battle to begin with, you know? Nintendo isn't stepping up to the plate or fighting us in any way. On the grand scale, we are ants. Not to mention, as of this year, we can and have caused harm to ourselves. So I don't really feel like there's much we can do. Even if Nintendo has been painted as this evil, tyrannical video game company, as long as they keep making games like Mario Odyssey and Splatoon, and they release more hype characters in Smash Ultimate, they win because we can't hurt their wallets, which at the end of the day is probably what matters the most. That's basically how I feel anyway. Anyway, that's all I have for this episode of Lay It On Me. You've just been laid. Moral of the story, Nintendo is on crack and is way too cracked up on that crack strength for anyone to contest them. Money tip of the day. Before you start investing, you need to do two things first. Number one, make sure you've paid any debt or any high interest loans or liabilities. And number two, make sure you save up an emergency fund of cash and place that money in a high yield savings account. I'm thinking about throwing a daily money tip at the end of the video, kind of like I do the moral of the story, so you guys can get your daily dosage of good finance tips on a daily basis. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about the situation in the comments below, okay? Do you think there's a chance for us to combat against Nintendo or not? If you think we can, then how? And if not, then why not? I'll be seeing what you guys think in the comments below. I'm out. It's Saturday, okay? I know y'all got stuff to do, okay? If you made it this far into the video, I'd really appreciate it if you guys just dropped a like on the video. It means the world to me and lets me know I'm making a good product similar to Nintendo. And subscribe if you haven't already, okay? We're only a few days before Christmas, and if we could just hit 200,000 subscribers by then, that would, like, guys, that would be the best Christmas present ever. That would be crazy. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next episode. You guys take care of yourselves, okay? Stay hydrated, stay safe, and have a good one.